Hey guys, how are you all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. Today, what I have for you guys is another movie review. Now, today I finally saw the correct Deadpool movie. Yes, today is December 12th, meaning that Once Upon a Deadpool is now out in theaters. However, it's only for a limited run. I believe it ends on December 24th or the 25th. So if you want to see Once Upon a Deadpool, see it soon, because it's going to be out soon, for some reason. So basically, before I get into my review, let me explain what Once Upon a Deadpool is for those of you who do not know yet. Well, basically, Once Upon a Deadpool is basically Deadpool 2, the second movie. However, it is basically edited to be a PG-13 movie. Now, before I get into anything else, I just want to tell you guys that PG-13 is not for kids, right? I hope we all know that. 13 means teenager, right? Not a 5-year-old or an 8-year-old or even a 10-year-old. So, yeah, there was like a 6-year-old in the theater today, so whoever that was, just, you can go for yourself, because it just doesn't work that way, alright? It doesn't. So, however you want to do this, I don't know. PG-13 means teenager and above, not 6-year-old. Anyway, that being said, Once Upon a Deadpool was a fantastic movie. It basically is, again, it's Deadpool 2, but they basically trim it with Fred Savage, who was in The Princess Bride. He was a little kid, and basically they just cut down all of the all the F words basically, and they bleep it out. And they also got rid of all the blood effects, most of it anyway. But it's perfect. It really is. I mean, I love Deadpool, and I love Deadpool 2, and I have the super duper cut and everything. But I mean, this movie ruled. I mean, it was awesome. It was so much fun. It was hilarious. Everything that they do, from the Fred Savage stuff to just like making it, I don't know, and it's perfect, because if Disney buys Fox, which, let's be real, they are, Deadpool, now that he's in a PG-13 movie, he can go and be in the MCU, which is great. And for all of you haters who are basically on the fact that Deadpool has to be R-rated, well, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. That's it. You're just wrong. Because, ultimately, if you read the comics, Deadpool does swear. Yeah, but they bleep it out. There's no sex scenes in the comics. Sure, they allude to something, and there's a lot of gore in the comics, yeah, but that doesn't really matter. It's just CGI blood anyways. So, this, to me, and I've been with Deadpool since, well, not the beginning, I'm only 20, but for a very long time, right? Deadpool's one of my favorite comic book people, I guess, of all time. And it works so well, because if you know the character, he doesn't need to see the F word every second, and there doesn't need to be sex scenes and gore everywhere, because it works so good in PG-13. And if you are just one of those people who can't get that under their belt yet, see this movie, because it is so fucking good. It's fantastic. It really is. It just works on every level. The comedy is still there. If you were worried that the minusing the F words and all the R-rated jokes are still gonna kind of like deteriorate the movie, it's not. Let me tell you that, because yes, PG-13 movie, you have to be 13, not 17. However, 13-year-old, last time I checked, wasn't for kids at all. And this movie is still perfect for a teenager up, right? 13 to 100 can see this movie. It's fantastic. So, still don't take your little ones. If you're wanting to know, don't do that. Don't do that to any PG-13 movie ever, because you have to be 13, not 6. So, I don't know. Does this movie work as a PG-13 film without all the dumb F words and all that? Yes. Now, I love the R-rated Deadpool and Deadpool 2. I think they're great. But for a true fan of Deadpool, you'll know that you don't need all those things to make it funny and to make Deadpool what he is, which is meta, which is funny, which is action-packed, which is everything that you want from the comics into this film, and it works perfectly. It's integrated perfectly. I don't understand why people are hating on this movie. And it just came out today, so everyone who's basically just about the movie can go and watch it, because you will be surprised, I guarantee it. And if you don't hate it, well then, because it's perfect. It's amazing in every way, and everything about this movie rocks to me. There are a few negatives. For example, when they say, you'll actually, like, it's kind of hard to explain, but, like, say they go, you just planet into oblivion, which Cable said, right? So the word, the F word, is still there, but they just dub over screwed or failed or something like that. And that's perfectly fine. It tells a story, and it's still hilarious as all. And then, of course, you get where, they actually, like, I guess this could be a negative, but, like, I think it was, who was it? It was Juggernaut. And if you've seen Deadpool 2 or the Super Duper effing cut or whatever, or even Once Upon a Deadpool today, you'll know that Cable says, "I'm going to shove that cab driver up your ass." And he says that, but in the movie, the PG-13 version, he says, I think, like, pipe hole or something, but the word ass and pipe hole don't really have the same, like, wording from your mouth. So he says, but it comes out pipe hole. So there's a few things like that where he talks and doesn't match the mouth, which is fine, I guess, because, of course, they're not going to shoot the entire scene just for one word. And they still dubbed it, which is fine, but I don't know. I think that's a little wonky. And then there's a scene, if you remember from Deadpool 2, where Deadpool, like, rips off when they're fighting Cable on the street, and there's, like, I don't know, some sort of, I can't think, but it's like one of those, it's a windshield, basically. And, the guy shoots Deadpool in the hand, right? And you see the blood come out of his hand, and you see the bullet hole in his hand. However, for the PG-13 version, there's no blood, of course, which is fine. But he still shoots him in the hand, but there's no hole in the hand. So, I mean, it's basically just like a big hole right where the hand was. And that's just, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me, that part. And again, there's a few things, but does this detract from the overall movie? No. This movie is so funny, and it's hilarious, and it's still not for kids, people. PG-13 does not mean for a 2-year-old. Don't take your kids to this movie, or any PG-13 movie, unless you want to, that's your call. But you really shouldn't, because it's not meant for them. But, all in all, if you're a 13-year-old who couldn't see the movie because you're not 17 yet, see this movie. It's fantastic. And, everyone who still is 17 and old enough to watch an R-rated movie, watch Once Upon a Deadpool, because it is so funny on every level. It's hilarious. Everything about it is just funny and charming and awesome, and it's what Deadpool should have been in the beginning. Now, like I said, I love R-rated Deadpool and Deadpool 2. But this, for a comic book fan of Deadpool, and having played Lego Marvel Superheroes, if you played the first Lego Marvel game, Deadpool's in that. And there's no F-words in that, and it's still hilarious, because you don't need that for Deadpool to be Deadpool. And they have everything that you want, so it just makes it so perfect, and everything works. I mean, it really does. It really works. So yeah, there's a few little negatives with the ADR and, like, some of the blood, but most of the time it hits really well. A lot of people said it was choppy in the end with a bunch of the fighting scenes. I mean, it wasn't choppy. People say it was like, oh, it's choppy as all. And I'm like, no, it's not choppy as all, because it's so good. And it's perfect, in my opinion. It just, everything about PG-13 Deadpool to me screams not only cash cow, a good cash cow, but it definitely works. And if Deadpool does go into the MCU and this PG-13 version is a success, which I highly doubt it won't be, it might not be, who knows, but I loved it, and I think true fans of Deadpool, you guys are out there, you will adore this movie. So please watch it. And again, R-rated Deadpool can still exist, but if we're being honest here, we're moving on to the future. Disney might keep the R rating, but I think, they're probably going to move it on to PG-13. And this is a great way to jump on, because, I mean, Ryan Reynolds said himself, I wanted this, I wanted Fred Savage, and I wanted this to be that way, and this to be this way. And it works perfectly. It really does. So if you're nervous about that, do not be. The movie works on every level you'd expect it to, even without some R-rated jokes and swear words and gore. It's still perfect, and it's still the same movie, but they actually add more scenes. So they take stuff from deleted scenes, and they add whole new scenes that weren't in the original movie, they weren't in the deleted scenes, and they weren't in the Super Duper. Yeah, the Super Duper. They weren't in the Super Duper effing cut, which means that essentially, it still works. And I know I keep saying the same thing, but all these new scenes and all these new things that they're adding, it works on every level. So if you're nervous, do not be, because true Deadpool fans will adore this movie on every single level. Every level. So I'm going to have to give Once Upon a Deadpool an A-. There's just a few things that are wrong with it. For example, the ADR and some scenes where Deadpool gets a headshot or he uses the chainsaw in the beginning. It just looks kind of wonky with that blood. But other than that, if they keep this as a framework for Deadpool in the future, I mean, it's going to work so well for everything on every level. It's going to be awesome. So, yeah, if you guys like Deadpool, if you are open to new things, which I hope you are, because there's a lot of people who hate things they don't understand, right? And I can list a million movies like that. There are a million movies, really, that I can list that are great. But people hate them, and they do poorly because people are stupid, not because the movie's bad. And this is probably going to be one of those cases where people are going to hate it because it's not rated R. But if you can get past that, if you can let that go, and watch Once Upon a Deadpool for what it's supposed to be, which is the original Deadpool in the comics, where they do bleep things out, and it's funny and meta, I don't know, you're going to love this movie. And I love this movie. So yeah, A-. Once Upon a Deadpool was awesome. And, yeah. Great movie. So check it out, guys. Leave me a comment in the comment section if you like R-rated Deadpool or if you like Once Upon a Deadpool, the PG-13 version, and what you're looking forward to Deadpool in the future if he does and when he does go in the MCU. So thank you guys very much for watching, and we will see you all in the next video. Roll it.
Son of a...